The real estate market in Canada and many places around the world is beyond overheated. People have seen the prices rise so high that it has become entirely affordable to the majority of individuals. We have seen some prices declining, seen some sales declining, and increased inventory. But regardless, the prices are far out of reach to the general public. So what's the solution? You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Today we're going to look at real estate. There's going to be a focus of Vancouver and Canada at the beginning, but stay tuned no matter where you are in the world, because I'm going to show you information from the US as well as how this applies and the supposed solution to the problem. Let's begin by taking a look at this. Out of CBC, CMHC says the annual pace of housing starts slowed in August compared with July, and we could see the slowdown that has occurred here. This is just the tip of the iceberg because we've seen the prices escalating so high for so long. It's just the beginning, all right? So we don't want to overreact to the information, but it is an absolute fact, what I will show you here in just a second. Now, Soretsky Real Estate, this guy here brings out this information from his blog. He does a report, and I brought this to you because I think it is so important. So these charts you will see are from that. New loan growth 2017. You could see where you look around Canada, Vancouver down 18%. All right, so that is very significant because this is the way that you need to look at this. You don't just look at the government provided statistics that we would typically see, prices, for example, or something like this. You want to be able to look at the housing starts, the permits, everything that goes along with that, the construction companies, employment surrounding that, and many other factors. Edmonton and Calgary, these are also ones that have declined quite a bit. Toronto down about 9%, Ottawa down 10%, Montreal 8%. So you could see the loan growth there as one factor. Look at this. Condos in Vancouver specifically, number of new sales is down year over year 29%. That is very, very significant that we should be keeping an eye on. But hey, the prices that you will see, in this case here, $849,000 in August 2017, $898,000 in August 2018. That's a 6% increase. So it's not necessarily that things are coming down in price, but we have seen that. We have seen inventory building in many cities around the world, and that's generally going to become a very big issue for that market. It's all based locally, okay? Depending on how many jobs are moving into the area. You can't just say real estate is in a bubble. Real estate is overvalued, okay? We can make generalizations, but certainly it goes much deeper than that. Now, that's condos. I want to show you detached homes as well. Look at this. Number of new sales, minus 30% year over year. Number of new listings, minus 17%. That's something that we need to watch out for, as well as inventory. You could see just minor there, but that's for Vancouver. Look around to other markets and you see a different picture as well. So the prices are ridiculous, whether we look in the average price or whether we look at the median price. It's unbelievable. It's over $2 million right now, and that is, in fact, unaffordable to the general public. People say, well, the prices are going up. Why do I care? My home is worth more money, and I'm pulling out the equity, and I'm spending it like crazy. Well, that is going to be a big problem. There's no doubt about that. However, I just need to address the fact that it's unaffordable. The average person cannot get this type of home and be able to afford the bills. Yes, they can afford it today, just barely. But when interest rates rise, as they have been, as they will, we're going to be met with considerable headwinds. That's what I would advise everybody to be very concerned about, not just if you have a variable mortgage, but also if you have a fixed mortgage. Now look at this, Vancouver apartments under construction. This should be very, very concerning to anybody. We see cranes all over the skyline, whether you're looking in Vancouver, Toronto, or any other major city. There are cranes everywhere. And this is okay if you have enough people to be moving into the places to then live in them. But if you're buying them to stay empty in order to wait for the appreciation on the home, you end up in a very, very difficult scenario at some point. 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, I don't know. But eventually it's a disaster. Look at Dubai. That's one very, very typical point where people from all over the world, they would buy a unit there, a condo in the building, buy 10 units, who knows? And then they would hope that that would one day be worth more. And certainly that was the case for a little while there, but they learned the lesson the hard way. Their prices came down considerably in many of these places because people were just leaving them empty. They weren't making any passive rental income. They were simply riding on the appreciation. And you have expenses in a home. You have things that need to be paid. There are condo fees. There are so many things that people are not thinking about. They just worry about the appreciation. The home goes up in value 10, 20% a year. So I'm good. All those expenses are going to be paid. And they learn the hard way. All right, very quickly, Vancouver detached prices 3 months average. You could see what has happened here. Now, clearly the trend is in right now. I mean, look at how it has been over the last few years, but it's been up and down over the last couple years. It's been struggling there to some degree. Vancouver detached sales for August. And it seems like this is down. Sales are considerably down right now, but we can point to this looking at it. I think the number one factor here is price. Price is the number one factor. The average person can't afford it. They move further out. That puts a bigger strain on the transit system. They're unable to cope with that. You get more stress. You get people who are unable to pay the bills that they need to. Now, I want to give you an idea. If you're not from Vancouver, if you're not from Canada, or you live in a city somewhere around the world that's relatively affordable, I want to show you an example of a place. And this is Vancouver in the downtown area. Just wanted to pick out a place here. And this is not too expensive. This is not too cheap. But I think it's really outlining what you're going to pay. This is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom unit. And it happens to be $1 million. And that's not, as I said, not extreme in either direction. Yes, you can find places cheaper. I could find them a lot cheaper, in fact, but are they really good areas around the city? Do you have to commute for 2 hours to get there? I'm showing you where a lot of people live today and the kind of prices that they pay. $1 million, maybe you can get it for $700,000, maybe in a different area, a different building. This is a nice unit. There's no doubt about that. I mean, it's probably it's built in 2008, but it looks like it's a nice place regardless, right? But it's still a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom. We're not talking about $1 million buying you a mansion, okay? It's not even close. This is what we're dealing with today. Now, I want to bring it to something that I think is not understood. For rent, 98 square foot bedroom in condo living apartment, community included. This information comes out of the Wall Street Journal, all right? When I look through this, I read the whole article, but basically I'll try to summarize it very quickly. This individual lives across from Manhattan. He's got his own room, but shares everything else, essentially like a dormitory. And I've talked about this before. They call it co-living. And I don't think there's anything wrong with this, okay? If somebody wants to do this, this is great. It offers them a way to live the lifestyle that perhaps they want, and they can do so. However, if this is not the lifestyle they want, but they can't afford anything else, then I've got a problem. It's not cheap though. $1,800 a month, 98 square feet. If you don't think that's messed up, then what planet are we living on? Well, talks about this particular company There's so many right now, actually, that do this whole co-living thing. It looks like they're purchasing apartments and other types of space, and they can set it up to be like a dormitory style. So the bedrooms, in some cases, the bedrooms look to be shared, but other places they have your own bedroom, and then you would share the bathroom, the kitchen, and other areas, which it depends again. That is fine for a lot of people. Maybe they're working 12 hours a day, or right as soon as they finish work, they go out, they just go home, they sleep, that's it. It's not a big deal, I understand. This type of community, as they call it here, works as in like a hotel. They'll come into your room, they change your sheets, they change your towels, and so on. Once a week they do this. It's a service provided, you pay for that. They have community, so you go out on tours of, this place or that place. It's supposedly building a community, but really what it is cheaper living. Now, the average rent in Manhattan, I think it was something ridiculous like $4,000 or something. So $1,800 would be significantly cheaper, although this isn't directly in Manhattan. But regardless, we're looking at expensive prices there in San Francisco, in LA, and other places where we can see that happening today. Okay, so that's important. I think you should read it. I think you should look through this. Just look for 98 square foot unit and you'll probably find it, but you can scroll through. It's kind of a long article. I don't want to get into all, but that seems to be the solution for a lot of people. I don't know if that's really a solution though. This is another one, PodShare. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. PodShare is a membership-based live/work community. By purchasing a pass to one location, you get access to all PodShare locations during that duration. You can get it in Hollywood, the Arts District, and so on. It goes through, breaks it down, about $1,000 a month. Okay, so you get, look at this, if I could zoom in, you could see what it is. It's bunk beds. And maybe that's fine for some. And like I said, I don't have anything against anybody who wants to do this, but you're buying a bunk bed in a room. That's what you're buying. And they give you a TV, and I think they give you like Netflix or something like this. And that's $1,000 a month. Okay, if you want to live in a place for $1,000 a month in these areas right here, that's what you're going to get. You're not going to get a room in a house. You're not going to get your own apartment. You're going to get a bunk bed. All right. Now, it kind of reminds me of a hostel, and they sort of bring that up here. Travelers, transitioners, temps, and so on. That's fine, again. And you can just scroll down in here and look at the different type of people that are here. They try to put people together, and they try to make them sort of compatible. People are even getting tattoos that correspond to this PodShare. I don't know if that seems... I thought it was fake at first, but apparently it's real. This is quite extreme, and this is where we're headed. Okay, so that's the solution. Very, very high, expensive, ridiculous home prices based on speculation. Oh, and now you got to live in a dormitory for the foreseeable future. This is the new world? You tell me. If you found this video informative, please give me a thumbs up. When you give me a thumbs up, it helps to support the channel, so I do appreciate that very much. And if you want the financial education you were not taught in schools, these two books have it all. From A to Z, you get to learn it all. You will get the foundation, the history, the asset classes, how to profit, making money, everything else, all in line with the financial system. You're going to learn it all in these two books. And you can check them out at the link in the description. If you're more interested in the audiobook version, you can get that at themoneygps.com.